You asked for it, you got it. Part two. And hey, we've done this before where we say, let's try something. You asked for it, let's put them up against each other. Challenger versus champion. And this one came in the comments from our previous, and they said,
there's not really a challenger champion thing. This is just something they wanted.
It's a fight, though.
Well, yeah, but there's no champion.
Still, it's a fight. Somebody's got to be the challenger.
Welcome to the Bourbon Doctors. I'm Albert. This is Chad. This is we hope a recurring segment of like, hey, you guys wanted to know what we thought about two whiskeys, and here we are with OGD 114 versus a Knob Creek. Now,
Knob Creek is, I don't think it's fair to compare it to the 12-year because
the
14, I don't know the age statement on that, the OG, what is it?
Oh God, it's probably 4 years. I don't remember,
but
I'll figure it out.
It's
we'll
not
put it
fair
up somewhere, if it's even.
And it's 114 proof. I think it's great. It's a Jim Beam product. The Knob Creeks, this is
another Jim Beam product.
120 store pick. I think this runs about an 8-9 year single barrel.
Right, and you can get that for like $45 or so.
These are about 45. Yep, that's about right. The OG's running about $30.
Now, my guess is, if I had to guess, the subscriber that asked for this. Or the commenter that subscribed, this commenter that asked for this probably was referring to the standard
like 9 year, 100
proof.
I don't know. This
Knob
is,
Creek.
I think, a more fair comparison.
I think it's
from a proof point standpoint.
6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? The 100 proof is going to be four proof lower than this, and a little bit cheaper than the store pick. Mm-hmm. I think store picks are super easy to find for Knob Creek. Lots of places have them.
And they're good.
I don't know why.
I think they're
and they are really good. And I'd say if we go with a store pick, then it's 6 proof points higher instead of 4 proof points lower.
And $15.
Or 15 proof points lower.
So almost, and if for as cheap as that is, you're talking about a 30%
$30
price increase.
Yeah. Yep.
You're $30 versus 45.
Yep.
And is it? I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I got my gut feeling. My gut feeling is telling me
Store pick.
that the store pick's going to be better.
Yeah.
But how much better? I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a pretty reasonable. I think it's a reasonable fight either way, whether you choose the 9 year non-store pick or the store pick.
It's 2 middleweights.
Is the store pick also 9 years?
Yeah, this is 2 middleweights. This isn't like
it's not a heavyweight.
Ali Frazier. This is
Can you name a current heavyweight?
Vladimir Chichenko.
I said current.
Oh, no, I cannot.
Yeah.
But this to me would be like Marvin Hagler versus Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hitman Hearns, Marvin Hagler. Old school.
Welcome to the 1980s. That's where we're living.
That's some old school stuff, man.
That's some old school stuff.
Those are good fighters, though.
But boxing's kind of dead.
That's middleweight,
right?
That's a good old middleweight.
UFC is.
That's what this is. This is a good old middleweight fight.
I would argue the UFC has kind of replaced boxing.
Okay, who is this? This is Conor McGregor versus.
Yeah.
Famunda guy.
Nate Diaz, maybe.
All right.
I don't know. Okay, let's just drink some
bourbon. We're talking too much about other shit.
Oh my god.
Okay, we're gonna blind these. And then we're going.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right.
As you can see, we have some whiskey before us, and we are about to drink it.
And this is you asked for it, you got it. We know what they are, but we don't know which is which.
And they're both, Jim Beam products, so I'm guessing the profile is going to be pretty similar. So it's really a matter of what's better. Now.
Okay, the one to my left is very sweet. Honestly, if you were to tell me that was a Jim Beam product, I wouldn't believe it. That doesn't even taste Jim Beamy. It tastes sweeter than...
Yeah, you're right. It really is really sweet without a lot of the peanut.
No, I don't get a lot of nut on it.
Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of nut.
On that.
I'm with you. Now, we had this issue last time and we'll see, but your bottle of OGD was super low, and I question whether
It's
we
now
were
gone.
drinking the dregs of
This
the
one,
bottle.
try the one to the right. It is much more nutty, much more complex.
Oddly, I just get a little bit more proof, but to me the flavor profile is very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, and you're right, I don't get much peanut off of either one of these. Which, I don't know, maybe that's just...
Now that I go back, I get a lot of heat off that one to the left. Now, the second thing. No, I do.
I'm not, it's just funny, you know, like, I felt like I got a lot of heat off the second one.
I get much more than the first time around on that second drink.
Oddly, I mean, we have a long history of loving Jim Beam products, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Except Basil Hayden.
Except for Basil Hayden.
I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan. But, you know, I usually am so overjoyed to taste that nuttiness of Jim Beam, and I'm not getting it off of either one of these today.
I'm getting it far more off of this one.
And again, palates, what you've been drinking today, what you've been eating today, that always throws things off. Maybe we should go eat some peanuts first and
We've
then
been
come
eating the
back to
same
this.
damn thing.
We've been eating the
Bratwurst
same
chips.
thing, but is that the shit that you eat every day?
No, I don't eat your bullshit food every day.
That's, yes, exactly. So there you go. So today, your palate may be all fucked up from my bullshit food. So
I eat a lot healthier when I'm not.
yeah. We're not on the radio. They can see.
That's true.
Honestly, to me, this is like same.
Okay, but we got to make a choice here, because here's what it comes down to. You're sitting there, you've had these two, you don't know which is which, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna sip on one for the rest of the night. I'm watching the ball game.
So that's one
Monday
metric.
Night
That's one
Football.
way to decide it. I get where I know where you're going to go with this. Is
That's
like,
the
you
best
can't
way to
waffle.
decide.
You have to pick one. And
Can't
I
waffle.
would argue
You're a waffler.
that. Yeah, I am. But I would argue in this case, to me, they're exactly the same.
I don't think they're exactly. I think this one to my right is slightly better, but they're really close. Now, that being said,
This is where I was
this
going.
is $45. This is $30.
That's
so
where
if
I
they're
was going.
that close,
You go with the cheaper one.
yeah.
Yes,
But we don't know which is which.
But we
This
don't
one
know
that
which
I
is
like
which.
might even be cheaper.
it might be.
So,
At least to my palate today, there's not a discernible difference for me.
I think the right is slightly better.
So the right is
Yellow.
That is the store pick.
Okay.
So
Is
you
it
got fancy food
Is
tastes.
it $15 better?
I don't think so.
I
No.
don't think so.
No.
No. I mean, but what that shows is OG 114 is a really good cheap
It's
bourbon.
a bottom shelf bourbon, which is
It's a
what
bottom
we've
shelf
said
bourbon that's fantastic.
over and over and over
So-
again.
You know, and it's not necessarily beating, but coming pretty close to a store pick.
If we want to continue the boxing analogy, it punches way above its weight class.
At best, it's a split decision. If you want to do boxing analogy, this is
Yeah,
a split decision.
Yes.
Judge won, and it may be slight split decision here, but it'd be like
You know what? I'm that judge that everybody hates. That they're like, Judge
The
3
one
scores
judge
at
that-
118, 118.
1 to 117
Yeah.
in favor of, but you know, I don't know.
That's the thing. So if I think there are different metrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if we go all the way back to the Chad Buss method of scoring bourbon, you know, taste
is
one,
essentially the same,
right? And then the price point.
And then value, I
so
guess
the value is here.
I guess you go 114, and that's fine because I think 114 to me is one of the great sleeper bourbons on any shelf.
Yeah.
in any store.
Despite the fact that it just lost our under $30 bourbon.
Well, but I gotta say that benchmark was unbelievable. For a 20
some odd dollar benchmark. For those of you
bourbon.
who didn't watch it, I'll put it up here.
Benchmark full proof.
Yeah, it's really surprising to me.
I just bought another bottle, and it's weird because it's an allocated bottle for $25.
This again, that's in a whole nother commentary of and it's a Buffalo Trace product. Why does every Buffalo Trace product have to be allocated? Why?
Except for like Ancient Age.
Except for well, and foolproof regular.
Yeah.
But come on,
Nobody drinks that.
Buffalo
Who
Trace.
fucking drinks Ancient Age?
I will say, like as an aside, Buffalo Trace products are becoming easier for me to find here.
I can tell you in the Des Moines area, we're seeing a lot more Buffalo Trace. I'm still not getting like the Eagle Rare and the E.H. Taylor, but there seems like there's a lot of Blantons too. Like there's more Blantons.
It really. So yeah, you know what?
Not that I'm getting it, but I hear about it, and much more so than I used to. So I think they're, at least what I heard too, is they're ramping up their production.
Yeah,
which is good.
I will say was it you that was telling me that you went to a store and they would sell you the allocated bourbon if you opened it?
You had to open it, yeah. And I went, that's cool. It was in Illinois. I knew a guy that happened to. They said, we'll sell it to you for MSRP if you open
crack it.
Because so we know you're not reselling it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great idea. Just
do
do it. Just crack it because you got to drink it.
Yeah.
There's no collecting
Take
this
the seal off.
To me, it's
Yeah.
weird, but if you want to do it, do it. But I think you're screwing it up for the people that actually enjoy drinking it. It's like collecting those old pop cans from with all the baseball players on them, RC Cola.
I don't know anything.
That was
Again,
the 70s.
Here we are again in the 1970s. All right, that about wraps this up. You guys asked for this. Please send us your ideas. Ask us what you'd like to see.
What do you want us to compare? And I don't know that we came. I think the answer here is for value, the 114 is better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We're the Bourbon Doctors. Like, comment, subscribe.
Bourbon is for drinking.
Bourbon's for drinking.